Hello there YouTubers, and once again welcome to another Doctor Who action figure review. This time I shall be taking a look at Laszlo, a scene from the two-parter from Series 3, Daleks in Manhattan, and Evolution of the Daleks. Again, this figure is kind of an odd choice, in my opinion. Don't get me wrong, because I do like this figure. I think it's very nicely detailed, but I just feel that it was a very random choice to release as a figure. I mean, like I said over a year ago in my reviews of Brannigan and Mickey Smith, figures like that. And don't get me wrong, I like those figures as well, but I said that in the classic wave of figures, they need to release more iconic monsters or companions. So, for instance, they need to release Li Sen Chang from the Talons of Weng Chiang. They need to release the classic Silurians, like I said in the Brannigan review, and like over a year later, they've still not released that figure, and whether they'll ever release it, I'm not entirely sure, because I've heard recently that Alistair Dewar, who is like the boss of like all the figure releases, like character options and Doctor Who and all that, he said on his Twitter, and by the way, I don't have Twitter, so don't try and find me because I'm not on there. But according to Batman March, said on his Twitter that the figure line might eventually stop. Now, in my opinion, that would be an absolute catastrophe, because I think I'm not just speaking for myself, I'm speaking for all of you who are also collecting action figures as well. But some of you who are watching this will have been collecting action figures for years, like ever since the line began back in 2006. I started collecting like start of 2007 with the Cult of Skaro set, the first ever video I did. So it would be an absolute catastrophe if it stopped now, because right now Doctor Who is at its peak, because it's getting a lot of mentions in the media because it's the 50th anniversary. But in terms of merchandising, like action figures and stuff like that, it's not really been that good, because yeah, the 3.75 figures, I know I've gone on about that in past videos, and I just personally don't like the idea of a scale change, because after a long time of collecting figures, like for years, they suddenly decide to change the scale for the new series figures, Series 7 figures, and obviously they're keeping 5" with the classics, but they're not getting releases for the classics as frequently anymore, which is kind of a shame, because there's still quite a lot of things they can release as classic action figures, like Vuids from the Keys of Marinus. I've just reviewed the DVD, and there need to be loads of first and second Doctor villains, because I just think it's a bit dire, to be honest. The only other monster, apart from a Dalek or a Cyberman, that has been released from a first or second Doctor era is the Ice Warrior. And yeah, there is the Mechanoid from the Chase, but you can't really do that much, because really the Mechanoids are related to the Daleks because they're like the enemy. So Character, if you're watching this video, I mean, it probably never happen, but please release more monsters from the 60s, and even more monsters that need to be released, like classic Silurians, because they are begging to be released. So that's just the end of my message, and if you agree with my message about that, tell me what you think in the comments below, and hopefully this video should give character options a message. They probably won't even get the message, but there you go. That's just my opinion of figures that need to be released. And now I'll go on to this figure. So like I said, this figure was quite an odd choice to be released, but it is still a good figure. The articulation is normal. The head can do a 360. The arms can do a 360-degree turn, like so. The biceps can move and elbows can bend. It's very stiff on this figure though. And the wrists can also do a 360-degree turn. The waist can do a 360-degree turn. The legs can bend, and the knees as well. And that's pretty much all the articulation. The feet doesn't move, so don't try and move the feet. The detail in this figure is excellent. The head just looks like the actor who played him, and it just looks like how Laszlo looked like in Daleks in Manhattan, the Evolution of Daleks. His hair parts around here, I think, or it might be just a bit of paint rub. It does part a little bit, but it's not noticeable. But it does, and that is correct because it did, and it's like all combed, like typical 1930s style. The nose is spot on. It looks just like how it did in the story, because he was transformed into a pig slave, but he still could talk, unlike all the other pig slaves who are basically dumb. And the ears are very nicely detailed as well, and everything else about the face is spot on, and even like the wash of paint they're giving it is really good, because his skin is darker when he's in his pig form, so that's very nice. The overalls are very nicely detailed. You've got like all these creases all over it. You've got these silver buttons, and you've even got like the shirt underneath, which is white, and that's just been glued on. I think it's like actually part of the overalls sculpt, but they've like sculpted it like underneath the collar, which is good. And it's all red, and I said in numerous videos my favourite colour is red, so that's another reason why I like this figure. And you've got more creases at the back, got the belt at the back as well. It looks like a belt, but it just stops here at the hip area, and it's got a pocket as well for his cigarettes, because a lot of people like had the cigars and all that type of thing back in the 1930s in New York. And there's more creases here at the crotch area, and there's more creases at the bottom of the legs as well. And the boots, or the feet, they're very nicely detailed as well. They're black, and they're just like slip-on shoes, so they're very good. And also the wrists are also very nicely detailed. They're just painted them black. The cufflinks are painted black, and really that is it. So I've talked more really about other figures than this figure. There's not really much to say about this figure. I mean, if you've not got this figure and you like this review, then track down this figure, because I think it's quite a good figure. But like I said, it's one of those figures you just think, why the hell did they release that? They could have released the Lazarus monster, but I think that would have cost a bit too much. So once again, YouTubers, thank you very much for watching this video, and if you agree with what I said at the start of the video, then comment below, tell me what you think, and obviously if you are actually a collector of the 3.75 figures and you missed out on like all the earlier 5-inch figures, then you maybe look, because I've heard that they may be releasing 3.75 figures from the Christopher Eccleston / David Tennant era. So watch this space. Thank you very much for watching, YouTubers, and I hope you join me for my next action figure review.